In November 2008, 10 members of Lashkar-e-Taiba, an Islamic militant organization based in Pakistan, carried out a series of 12 coordinated shooting and bombing attacks lasting 4 days across Mumbai. The attacks, which drew widespread global condemnation, began on Wednesday the 26th of November and lasted until Saturday the 29th of November 2008. Killing 164 people, and wounding at least 308. 8 of the attacks occurred in South Mumbai, at Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus, the Oberoi Trident, the Taj Mahal Palace and Tower, Leopold Cafe, Karma Hospital, the Nariman House Jewish Community Centre, the Metro Cinemas, and in a lane behind the Times of India building and St. Xavier's College. There was also an explosion at Misagaon, in Mumbai's port area, and in a taxi at Vilpal. By the early morning of the 28th of November, all sites except for the Taj Hotel U had been secured by Mumbai police and security forces. On the 29th of November, India's National Security Guards conducted Operation Black Tornado to flush out the remaining attackers. It resulted in the deaths of the last remaining attackers at the Taj Hotel and ending all fighting in the attacks. Ajmal Kasab disclosed that the attackers were members of Lashkar-e-Taiba, among others. The government of India said that the attackers came from Pakistan, and the controllers were in Pakistan. On the 7th of January 2009, Pakistan confirmed the sole surviving perpetrator of the attacks was a Pakistani citizen. On the 9th of April 2015, the foremost mastermind of the attacks, Zakir Rahman Lakhva, was granted bail against surety bonds of 200,000 rupees. Background: there have been many terrorist attacks in Mumbai since the 13 coordinated bomb explosions that killed 257 people, and injured 700 on 12 March 1993. The 1993 attacks are believed to have been in retaliation for the Babri Mosque demolition. On 6 December 2002, a blast in a Best bus near Ghatkopar station killed 2 people, and injured 28. The bombing occurred on the 10th anniversary of the demolition of the Babri Mosque in Ayodhya. A bicycle bomb exploded near the Vilpal station in Mumbai, killing 1 person and injuring 25 on 27 January 2003, a day before the visit of the Prime Minister of India Atal Bihari Vajpayee to the city. On 13 March 2003, a day after the 10th anniversary of the 1993 Bombay bombings, a bomb exploded in a train compartment near the Mulund station, killing 10 people, and injuring 70. On 28 July 2003, a blast in a Best bus in Ghatkopar killed 4 people and injured 32. On 25 August 2003, 2 bombs exploded in South Mumbai, one near the Gateway of India and the other at Zaveri Bazaar in Kalbadavi. At least 44 people were killed and 150 injured. On the 11th of July 2006, 7 bombs exploded within 11 minutes on the suburban railway in Mumbai, killing 209 people, including 22 foreigners, and more than 700 injured. According to the Mumbai police, the bombings were carried out by Lashkar-e-Taiba and Students' Islamic Movement of India, training a group of men, sometimes stated as 24, at other times 26, received training in marine warfare at a remote camp in mountainous Muzaffarabad, Azad Kashmir. Part of the training was reported to have taken place on the Mangla Dam Reservoir. The recruits went through the following stages of training, according to Indian and U.S. media reports. Psychological indoctrination to Islamist ideas, including imagery of atrocities suffered by Muslims in India, Chechnya, Palestine and across the globe. Basic combat. Lashkar's Basic Combat Training and Methodology Course, the Dora Arm. Advanced Training. Selected to undergo advanced combat training at a camp near Mansehra, a course the organization calls the Dora Course. According to an unnamed source at the U.S. Defense Department, this includes advanced weapons and explosives training supervised by retired personnel of the Pakistan Army, along with survival training and further indoctrination, commando training. Finally, an even smaller group selected for specialized commando tactics training and marine navigation training given to the Fedayeen unit, selected in order to target Mumbai. From the students, 10 were handpicked for the Mumbai mission. They also received training in swimming and sailing, besides the use of high-end weapons and explosives under the supervision of LET commanders. According to a media report citing an unnamed former Defense Department official of the U.S., the intelligence agencies of the U.S. had determined that former officers from Pakistan's Army and Inter-Services Intelligence Agency assisted actively and continuously in training. They were given blueprints of all the 4 targets: Taj Mahal Palace and Tower, Oberoi Trident, Nariman House and Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus. Attacks. The first events were detailed around 2000 Indian Standard Time on the 26th of November, when 10 men in inflatable speedboats came ashore at 2 locations in Colaba. They reportedly told local Marathi-speaking fishermen who asked them who they were to mind their own business before they split up and headed 2 different ways. The fishermen's subsequent report to police received little response and local police were helpless. Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus. The Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus was attacked by 2 gunmen. One of them, Ajmal Kasib, was later caught alive by the police and identified by eyewitnesses. The attacks began around 21:30 when the 2 men entered the passenger hall and opened fire, using AK-47 rifles. The attackers killed 58 people and injured 104 others, their assault ending at about 22:45. Security forces and emergency services arrived shortly afterwards. Continuous announcements by a brave railway announcer, Vishnu Dattaram Zenda, alerted passengers to leave the station and saved scores of lives. The 2 gunmen fled the scene and fired at pedestrians and police officers in the streets, killing 8 police officers. The attackers passed a police station. Many of the outgunned police officers were afraid to confront the attackers, and instead switched off the lights and secured the gates. The attackers then headed towards Karma Hospital with an intention to kill patients, but the hospital staff locked all of the patient wards. A team of the Mumbai anti-terrorist squad led by Police Chief Hemant Karkare searched the Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus and then left in pursuit of Kasib Khan. Kasib Khan opened fire on the vehicle in a lane next to the hospital and the police returned fire. Karkare, Vijay Salaskar, Ashok Kamtar and one of their officers were killed, though the only survivor, Constable Arun Jadhav, was wounded. Kasib Khan seized the police vehicle but later abandoned it and seized a passenger car instead. They then ran into a police roadblock, which had been set up after Jadhav radioed for help. A gun battle then ensued in which Khan was killed and Kasib was wounded. After a physical struggle, Kasib was arrested. A police officer, Tukaram Ombal, was also killed when he ran in front of Kasib to shoot him. Leopold Cafe. The Leopold Cafe, a popular restaurant and bar on Colaba Causeway in South Mumbai, was one of the first sites to be attacked. 2 attackers opened fire on the cafe on the evening of the 26th of November, killing at least 10 people, and injuring many more. Bomb blasts in taxis. There were 2 explosions in taxis caused by timer bombs. The first one occurred at 22:40 at Vilpal, killing the driver and a passenger. The second explosion took place at Wadi Bunda between 22:20 and 22:25. 3 people, including the driver of the taxi, were killed, and about 15 others were injured. Taj Mahal Hotel and Oberoi Trident. 2 hotels, the Taj Mahal Palace and Tower and the Oberoi Trident, were among the 4 locations targeted. 6 explosions were reported at the Taj Hotel, 1 in the lobby, 2 in the elevators, 3 in the restaurant, and 1 at the Oberoi Trident. At the Taj Mahal, firefighters rescued 200 hostages from windows using ladders during the first night. CNN initially reported on the morning of 27 November 2008 that the hostage situation at the Taj had been resolved and quoted the police chief of Maharashtra stating that all hostages were freed. However, it was learned later that day that there were still 2 attackers holding hostages, including foreigners, in the Taj Mahal Hotel. A number of European Parliament Committee on International Trade delegates were staying in the Taj Mahal Hotel when it was attacked, but none of them were injured. British Conservative member of the European Parliament Sajid Karim and German Social Democrat MEP Erika Mann were hiding in different parts of the building. Also reported present was Spanish MEP Ignacy Gardens, who was barricaded in a hotel room. Another British Conservative MEP, Saeed Karmal, reported that he along with several other MEPs left the hotel and went to a nearby restaurant shortly before the attack. Karmal also reported that Polish MEP Jan Majel was thought to have been sleeping in his hotel room when the attacks started, but eventually left the hotel safely. Karmal and Gardens reported that a Hungarian MEP's assistant was shot. Also caught up in the shooting were the president of Madrid, Esperanza Aguirre, while checking in at the Oberoi Trident, and Indian MP N. Krishna Das of Kerala and Gulam Noon while having dinner at a restaurant in the Taj Hotel. Nariman House, a Chabad Lubavitch Jewish center in Colaba known as the Mumbai Chabad House, was taken over by 2 attackers and several residents were held hostage. Police evacuated adjacent buildings and exchanged fire with the attackers, wounding 1. Local residents were told to stay inside. The attackers threw a grenade into a nearby lane, causing no casualties. NSG commandos arrived from Delhi, and a naval helicopter took an aerial survey. During the first day, 9 hostages were rescued from the first floor. The following day, the house was stormed by NSG commandos fast roping from helicopters onto the roof, covered by snipers positioned in nearby buildings. After a long battle, 1 NSG commando Havalda Gajendra Singh Bisht and both perpetrators were killed. Rabbi Gabriel Holtzberg and his wife Rivka Holtzberg, who was 6 months pregnant, were murdered with 4 other hostages inside the house by the attackers. According to radio transmissions picked up by Indian intelligence, the attackers would be told by their handlers in Pakistan that the lives of Jews were worth 50 times those of non-Jews. Injuries on some of the bodies indicated that they may have been tortured. NSG raid during the attacks. Both hotels were surrounded by Rapid Action Force personnel and Marine Commandos and National Security Guards commandos. When reports emerged that attackers were receiving television broadcasts, feeds to the hotels were blocked. Security forces stormed both hotels, and all 9 attackers were killed by the morning of 29 November. Major Sandeep Krishnan of the NSG was killed during the rescue of Commando Sunil Yadav, who was hit in the leg by a bullet during the rescue operations at Taj. 32 hostages were killed at the Oberoi Trident. NSG commandos then took on the Nariman House, and a naval helicopter took an aerial survey. During the first day, 9 hostages were rescued from the first floor. The following day, the house was stormed by NSG commandos fast roping from helicopters onto the roof, covered by snipers positioned in nearby buildings. NSG commando Havalda Gajendra Singh Bisht, who was part of the team that fast roped onto Nariman House, died after a long battle in which both perpetrators were also killed. Rabbi Gabriel Holtzberg and his wife Rivka Holtzberg, who was 6 months pregnant, were murdered with 4 other hostages inside the house by the attackers. By the morning of the 27th of November, the NSG had secured the Jewish Outreach Center at Nariman House as well as the Oberoi Trident Hotel. They also incorrectly believed that the Taj Mahal Palace and towers had been cleared of attackers, and soldiers were leading hostages and hold-up guests to safety, and removing bodies of those killed in the attacks. However, later news reports indicated that there were still 2 or 3 attackers in the Taj, with explosions heard and gunfire exchanged. Fires were also reported at the ground floor of the Taj, with plumes of smoke arising from the first floor. The final operation at the Taj Mahal Palace Hotel was completed by the NSG commandos at 800 on the 29th of November. Killing 3 attackers and resulting in the conclusion of the attacks. The NSG rescued 250 people from the Oberoi, 300 from the Taj and 60 people from Nariman House. In addition, police seized a boat filled with arms and explosives anchored at Mazgaon dock off Mumbai harbour.